Do you have toys, craft supplies, kids' books overtaking your whole house? If so, this video is for you. Or maybe you just really need help and inspiration, motivation to tackle any area of your house. If so, keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Sarah and here on our channel Work Life Glue I love to help busy, especially working moms, balance work life and everything in between. And a huge part of being able to balance all of that and make it stick is to have a pretty clutter-free, organized home so that you don't have to spend a ton of time maintaining it. But that does take some work up front. I'm going through a transition right now of having a daycare full-time 50 hours a week where I have 8 to 10 kids total, including my 2 plus my soon-to-be 3rd daughter. But now I'm downsizing my daycare and I'll have a whole video on that coming up pretty soon. So I'm going through a transition where I don't need half of my house to be a daycare. I don't need quite so many toys. I need more structure. I need more organization to fit our family in this new stage. And so today I'm going to be tackling quite a few things. I'm going to be tackling kids' books, kids' toys, craft supplies, and then hopefully our laundry room. But this is probably going to be over a couple videos just because it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a very long process, so I may split this up, but that is my goal at least today, is to at least start that process, and I'm going to take you guys along. So grab a towel, grab some coffee, find a spot in your house to declutter and organize, and let's get going. No decluttering or organization video is complete without a before and after. So here's the before. You'll see the after hopefully by the time this video is over. But this is our playroom. This was our main daycare space for 5 years, but now it's just, we're calling it the playroom. I will have at least one child coming, but it's mostly for our family. And right now it is just packed full of toys, way too many toys. And so I really need to get a good toy rotation system going. That's why the laundry room is included, which I will show you in a second because it has a ton of storage in there that I want to use. My goal is to get all our craft supplies to fit in this cabinet and to have a toy rotation system. And then I recently put up these curtains just on a tension rod, and behind here are tons of different things I'll show you. So behind door number 1, behind curtain number 1, is just kids' books. And I have so many. Plus I brought down all the books from the rest of the house for kids' books so I can go through them, plus our nosy cat. We have like a whole library and I don't need that many now that I'm not doing daycare. Plus we go to the library a lot and our library is still allowing us to pick up books, so we don't need so many on hand all the time. I really want to minimize that. And then on this side I have some overflow toy storage. These were all backup daycare kids clothes that I don't need anymore. And then that's just like table activities, which will be staying in here. I'm currently taking an online course called Present Play with Avi Tall from the Parenting Junkie. I would highly recommend her videos, her podcast series, and her blog and Instagram for inspiration. But she really teaches about having different areas set up for your kids, like an imagination zone, a messy zone, a movement zone, and things like that. So I'm not going to get super in depth because that's her work and I'm paying to go through it. But I will share that this space, this playroom, I want to be our imagination zone where they can do blocks and play kitchen and stuff like that, and dollhouse stuff where they're like imagining different worlds and different scenes. It will also be our messy space where we do crafts and stuff at the table. That's why I want all the craft supplies in this cabinet. And then it will also be our focus zone where they do like puzzles and stuff like that. But they also like to do those things in the dining room. So we're flexible in that. If we're upstairs, it's a weekend, the girls don't want to be down here, we can bring the Play-Doh upstairs or whatever, but I want it to stay in this room and just be brought up there when we need it. I don't want stuff stored in tons of different areas of our house. I want one central location that we can easily find things and then rotate as need be. Here next door to the playroom is the laundry. It is a catch-all zone. It's never been my favorite spot in the house because it has so many functions and doing daycare stuff just got shoved in here. But what I really dream of for this space, I got 12 of these white bins from Target for $8 a piece. I love them. I want at least 12 of these cubes to have bins with different toys for rotation, and then the topmost can be games or whatever. But the rest of this stuff is mostly just storage, like overflow toilet paper and water bottles and stuff, or craft supplies that I want to all go in that cabinet. We will be putting up some shelves here, so that will help with those overflow items. And then we also want to fit a fridge in here and move our freezer, because my husband started a cookie business and we need more space for like fridge space. So that's gonna fit in here as well, but that'll probably be a whole separate video when we get to that stuff. So I'm gonna start this process with books, and anything that I'm not keeping will go in our donate pile, which is down in the basement. I will show you, but I started that last week when I started the basement and the storage room. And whenever we can donate stuff, that'll all go to donation. But right now I have a really good system that I want to keep for different types of book, especially like my different seasonal books and books about holidays and stuff. So I'm keeping those because I really like to pull those out. But like all these are just random books. And then I also have some series and things like that. And then I also have books that are like anthologies, like the 5-minute story books that will go upstairs because we read those a lot in the living room or before bed. And then I also have what I call looking books that I will show you guys what I mean by that I like to have up in the living room for the girls to just kind of pull out and look at themselves. So I like to have those available. And then also board books for our baby coming and our 2-year-old. She still sometimes likes to look at board books. But otherwise, I want to really pare down just like the random regular books that we have, because we can easily get some from the library. We don't need to store so many here. So thankfully I have a lot of floor space here, but I'm going to just take each bin and go through. If I don't want that book, I want to donate it, pass it on to somebody else, I will put it in its own pile, a donation pile, and then the ones I want to keep, I'm going to be separating by looking books, which like I mentioned are like the look and find books where they can sit and look at them by themselves and find the different things. Or I have these like awesome Richard Scarry books where you can read them to your kids, but it's also fun to just look at the pictures. So those are all going to go upstairs. So I'll have a separate pile of looking books. Also the anthologies will be separated, like these different 5-minute story books. And then I'll have ones for board books. And then ones just for regular books, and then ones that are like holiday or season related, because some of those I forgot to put back. So yeah, and I might even sort out like if they're talking about different feelings or life lessons, such as like this is a really good one talking about emotions and correlating them to colors and stuff like that. So there'll be lots of piles that I will understand what they mean, and then mainly I'm just aiming to declutter during this time. So I've gone through just the books that were upstairs and in this organizer here in the playroom. These are all donation books. They're either ones that I just didn't really care for, we had extras of, that are wrecked, or you know, the kids just weren't very interested in. These are all just the random types of books. These are all series that will be grouped together. These are all like holiday or theme books that will be sorted out. These are all baby and sister related for my girls that I want upstairs as we transition to having a new baby. These are all special books that go in their room that are like special personalized or that they really love. These are all sleep related. These are all board books, looking books, anthologies, potty training books, and that's it. So now I'm going to go through all the books up here, and then I may also be paring down further if I see we have way too many board books, which we're kind of getting there right now. But I also can rotate out, so I don't need to feel like I have to get rid of everything, but I want it to all fit up here, hopefully with some space to spare, and then certain kinds of books upstairs. Okay, so I'm at a point now where I normally am overwhelmed, I'm tired, I want to stop. And a lot of people ask me, how do you have so much energy? How do you motivate yourself? And I think for me, I think of if I just stopped right now, how would I feel? I would feel overwhelmed. I would feel just this feeling of like this icky feeling of overwhelm because I'm not done, and I don't want to just put stuff back, and I would just feel unsettled. And I want to keep the end in mind. When I'm done, I know I'm gonna feel so settled, so motivated by everything I did. I'm gonna want to spend time in this space. My kids are gonna be excited. So I highly encourage you, if you have trouble motivating yourself, think about the end. Think about how you will feel if you stop right now. And usually that's enough to power you through a little longer, and then you need to do it again. And I don't usually stop until I feel like I've made progress. One portion of what I'm doing is finished, so maybe I do get really tired and I just do the books today. That's okay. But I need to finish something to have that settled feeling. And so that's how I work through motivating myself and overcoming those thoughts of like, oh, I just want to be done right now. Because I get them too, you guys. I totally understand. Okay, so here's my keep pile so far. I probably will be going through these again when I put them back. But I'm now up to 2 whole laundry bins to donate. So that's half of my stuff from upstairs already. So that's awesome. So now I'm just going to look through these last 2 shelves. And see, I'm not going to take them all down because they're organized, but I'm just going to go through each section and see if there's ones I want to get rid of. Okay, so I went through everything. I'm getting rid of a whole nother bin full, so that's 3 full bins. And then I got rid of some of my categories because I forgot I even had them categorized, like classics, ABCs, numbers, feelings. And I think I was gonna do like I think I'll still keep potty training books and like sister books separate, but nighttime and stuff like that I will just mix in with everything else. So I'm gonna go through all these one more time, and then I'm gonna organize this whole area. Okie dokie, I got all of the books to fit on the top 2 shelves. So these are all series, like Berenstain Bears, Llama Llama, Pinkalicious, Little Critter, Clifford. What else do we have? Curious George. We've got the, like, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, Dr. Seuss. These are all sleepy time books, and then the rest are like animals and then different holidays and seasons. And then these are just like the random different kinds of stories. That's donate. That's donate. That's donate. I set up this bookshelf for down here. These are all like looking books that they like to spot things and they can look at themselves. These are all board books that are going to go up to our daughter Bryony's room or in the living room. These are all like potty training books, since she's at that age of potty training, having another sister or baby in the house, and just some special books. These, oh, I have these to put up too. So actually I have a couple more stacks of board books that are staying down here to rotate out. And then these are all going in the bookshelf in the living room. So all the board books that I'm keeping for rotating are going to be right there. So my plan is once a month, probably like the last Sunday of every month, I'm going to go through the whole house, bring books down and rotate so that we're going through all of our books. They're not getting stale. The girls have books to look at, switching out. There's a bookcase here, there's a bookcase up in Celia's room, Bryony's got a bookcase, and then our living room. So here in our living room behind the couch is where we keep books. Don't mind any of this stuff, this is all going downstairs so I can sort through toys. But I just have like looking books, our anthologies, and then some other looking books that they can sit here and look at or grab from to pull from for, you know, bedtime and stuff like that. All of our library books are here on this little file cabinet thing that we get from the library. I put some of the board books in here for Bryony so she can just come into her room and look at books, and she can also pull for them at bedtime. And then I pulled various books for her from downstairs that I will rotate out and mixed it with like the potty training books and the big sister books for her little wall here, and I will switch that out monthly. And then I also grabbed books for Celia for her little book stand so she can look at them, or we can read them before bed. We do also have chapter books and Bibles and devotionals and stuff. I didn't go through those because they're already where I want them in their rooms, but then I just put some special books here, and then we have a bunch of chapter books here that just stay here. Okay, I would love to quit, but I get 1 day a week to work on this stuff while the girls are at my mom's for 6 hours, and so I have 3 more hours to go. I don't plan to work for 3 more hours, but I for sure want to get the craft supplies figured out, and then I could always work on the toys later. So this is the craft cabinet. Not very organized. I mean, it was organized at one time, but just with daycare and everything, it gets really jumbled up. But there's lots of unused stuff, unused space in here, and there's a lot in here in the laundry room. So I'm going to take all the craft stuff out, bring it in to the playroom, set it out, organize it, and get it all to fit in there, or donate stuff. Okay, so this is everything from the laundry room. We still have all this stuff in here I need to go through. I think some of this stuff does not need to go in the craft cabinet. These are felt things that can go up in the storage areas. I brought these backup clothes bins. They are too big to fit in here. They're a little too wide. So my thought is maybe for like bead supplies and I don't know, certain paints and things like that, craft supplies, I might put in these and then keep them up there out of reach, but I'm not exactly sure yet. And then I have a ton of sensory bin stuff that was in a cabinet in the laundry room that I need to sort through. I've just like I would just take it out and then put it in a bin with a bunch of other stuff, so I need to sort that as well. So probably not going to really show you the process of this, more just show you the after and what I'm getting rid of. Okay guys, it's 2 o'clock. I started this at 10. I just took a little lunch break, but other than that, I've been working hardcore. My hip is killing me from sitting on these hard floors. I don't realize it's hurting until I stand up, and then I can barely walk. So I think it's time to stop. I got all the craft cabinet organized and set up how I want it. I kind of rearranged the room. I'll show you guys that. But the last thing I'm gonna do after I show you guys everything is just bring all the toys, any extra toys, get some toys out of here and just put them in the laundry room, because I do have open space in there now. And then I will tackle that a different day in a different video. Okay, so this is what the room looks like now. I'm sure it will get rearranged many, many times. I decided I didn't like the tables in the corner. It was too hard for the girls to reach stuff in the corners. I put all my construction paper into this sorter that I had that I'm not using for mailboxes for the kids anymore. I don't know if I like it on the table though, so I don't know if it's going to stay here. It takes up a lot of space, but we'll see. I have like the big papers on top. These 4 are just construction paper. Then I've got some coloring books. I really dwindled those down because my kids don't really play with them. Some magazines for them to cut out stuff. Some felt. These are pom-pom printouts, so like they can do fine motor with pom-poms. These are my Play-Doh laminated sheets that they can do Play-Doh on. I've got some sheet trays, and then just these really cool sleeves that you can put papers in and then use dry erase crayons or markers on. And those are just nice to have there. I don't care if the girls get into it because they can color there and whatever. Over here I just have the books like I showed you, and I just put some felt board stuff here and my carpet squares and a big sleeve of paper. Over here, this will get organized even more when I go through all the toys. But I changed up. I brought the stuff that was on this shelf down because I wanted this stuff up higher where the girls aren't going to get into it, because this is my overflow craft stuff. I thought a lot of this stuff fit really nicely in drawers. So in here I have all our painting like tools, so Q-tips we use a lot, paintbrushes, foam brushes, and then sometimes we do like bubble painting, and then I also have pipettes in the back. Here I have overflow paint, our washable paint, got our watercolor paints, some more overflow paint, like when I run out of a color I have backup, and those are acrylic paints. Over here I have our daughter Celia's beading supplies. And this wouldn't fit in there, so that's in there too. I've got a stamp pad, some twine, and popsicle sticks. And then I have a bunch of like key rings and stuff left over from crafts. And then in here I've got water beads, Mod Podge, glitter glue, just some glitter and some baby oil for different projects and stuff. And then I put our aprons here. And then the craft cabinet looks so much better. So I've got our first aid kit in here. I've got these bottles we may use for something. This is just like overflow stuff. I've got cotton balls, ice cube trays. that I use for painting, strainers for using with pipe cleaners, and then just some random crafting tools that didn't really fit anywhere else. Here I just have our markers, our prizes for if they earn all their stickers from the sticker prize, and then all the scissors. So this cabinet is baby proof, so they can't get into it. I've got crayons. I've got these from my Funshine Express. They're little dice that you can roll and they do different things. My glue sponges. And then in here I've got fabric markers and the dry erase crayons and markers. And then down in the bottom of this I just have tissue paper squares for crafts. And then here I've got shaving cream, my Velcro, and then just some other random stuff for that I don't need to access very often, but when I do, I need it right away. Play-Doh, tools, Play-Doh, these nice lakeshore trays. I have a couple with our kinetic sand right now too. Pipe cleaners. And then I went through all of my sensory bins and organized, but I realized we didn't have any quart size or sandwich size bags, so for now I just had to put them in these snack size bags. But I have like all the animals I have sorted, dinosaurs and erasers and stuff like that. I've got all the tools for sensory bins, and then in this bin I sorted them all out by type. So I've got pom-poms, vehicles, just in these bags I got from the dollar spot at Target quite a few months ago, I think. So all my Easter sensory bin stuff, and a lot of these can be used for Play-Doh too, or kinetic sand, but now they're organized. This is all Valentine's Day, Halloween, underwater, beach, and then Christmas. This is my bin of paint that we're currently working on, so the overflow, the extra colors are in those drawers like I showed you, so I just pull this out when we're gonna paint. I have scrapbooking paper. This wouldn't fit in the paper sorter, but if our girls want to do any like patterned papers, they can use those. Cups I use for playing and stacking and also for crafts, and then my glue. And then I moved our play kitchen over here, and they can just use this table. I had this table, this is all stuff that needs to go to the basement for donating and just storing for later. So I just don't think I like having that extra table in here. I'm gonna hold on to it and see, but I think it just gets to be too cluttered. And I didn't show you this before, but this is just where we keep like our paint daubers and our colored pencils and crayons here. So I don't mind if the girls get those out and bring them to the table and use the paper on their own. And then this is the current view of the laundry shelving. So I'm really happy that I have all this extra space. So I'm gonna bring a bunch of toys in here until I'm ready to tackle this probably this weekend or next week. So here's what it looks like now with all the overflow toys in here. But like I said, I'm gonna be tackling this room next week. My husband's carrying all this down so we can get it in our donate pile, which I will show you guys. So this is the room where we've been staging everything for donating and keeping and all that kind of stuff. This is our donate or throw pile. So all this is gonna get added to it. This is our keep pile most likely. I just don't exactly know what I'm gonna do with it yet. So I don't know if we're keeping those blocks because they just take up a lot of space. But like that slide can fold down. We'll use it in the winter time. And then this is my stuff I'm not sure about, and then this is just bins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am exhausted. I'm gonna take a half-an-hour break before we have to go pick up our girls. But I feel so accomplished and so much better. This room feels so much lighter and more organized and easier to find things, so I'm really happy about that. Let me know if you guys have any different ways you store craft supplies or books. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos coming up of me organizing and minimizing our home and our belongings. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye guys.